Hello and welcome to another video. My name is Noble. We're going to talk about what happened in the market today and what's likely to happen going forward. So QQQ continued from where it left off on Friday. It lost about 1% today, and it's now heading towards this uptrend line. This uptrend line acted as a support previously. So we'll have to wait and see whether or not this area acts as a support this time as well. So this is around 300, this uptrend line. Below there, the horizontal line also is an area of interest, and that's around 295. Now, the key thing is there is going to be an important economic report released on Friday. The Labor Department is going to release the unemployment figures for the month of August, and investors would want to see if there are any kind of weakness. In particular, they're going to be interested in a couple of figures here. One is the economy is looking to add roughly 300,000 jobs right here. This is the forecasted figure. Last month, economy added 528,000 jobs, which was well above what the market was expecting, which was around 250 then. So right now the market is expecting the economy to add 300,000 new jobs. If the number actually comes in below this level, market would consider that to be positive. It would show some indication that perhaps the labor market is weakening. But if the number comes in above 300k, that would continue to show that the labor market is still quite strong. The other thing that would be of note in that report would be the rate at which the wages are increasing. The forecast is that the wages would go up at a rate of 5.3% per year. Last month it was 5.2%. So we are expecting a little bit of an uptick in the annual wage growth. So these would be the two important figures that the market would be interested in. And what I suspect may happen is that, coming back to QQQ, QQQ, SPY, IWM, all the averages, they may come back towards key support levels ahead of that report, and then depending upon what happens to that report, if the report is stronger than what the market is expecting, then obviously we could see follow through weakness and break off some of these support. But if the report shows some weakness, then we could see a bounce of these support levels. So I think Friday would be an important day, and ahead of that, I'm not sure if the market is going to do too much. I don't think after what Chairman Powell said last Friday, that the Federal Reserve will continue to increase rates so long as inflationary pressures still exist, and the labor market will show if there are what's the state of the wage inflation. So I think what's going to happen is that what's likely to happen is that moving averages may not do much. They may consolidate it around this level, and then wait and see what the jobs report looks like. Momentum indicators are heading lower, so momentum remains weak, which means that if there is any kind of rebound, that's likely to be short-lived. MACD is heading towards the zero line. If it goes below the zero line, obviously that would be negative. So we'll see how things play out. If we look at SPY, again a daily chart of SPY, SPY is also coming up towards some important level. So we've got this uptrend line. If I show you the line chart, then you'll appreciate. So you see there's an uptrend line forming right here, and SPY is just above that level. I'll go back to the candlestick. So this uptrend line is going to act as an initial area of support, as it has been. we need to see whether or not bulls basically step in and support this zone. So this would be the first area of interest, and then there is this horizontal line which is around 400. So between 400 402 would be an area of support, and below there the support line is 390. Again, based on what I said on QQQ, Friday we might see a very strong reaction one way or the others. Ahead of that, we might see a lot of chop. If we look at IWM quickly, so it breached this support line on Friday, so there was follow through weakness today. It lost about 1%. So the next area of interest is about this level 182, which brings us to this area. It broke through this area in late July and then went on a fairly big run up, and below there we have this uptrend line. Momentum indicators are weak, trending lower. Moving on to gold, we'll see gold. So gold, so we've got this levels listed. So this was an area, this was the previous swing low. So it traded below that level today, but managed to hold this. So this is an area that we need to see whether gold can hold. If gold goes below today's low, which is around 1731, that would show that there is weakness. But if it's able to get through above this candle, which is around 1780, then we might see move up towards this level. So gold is kind of consolidating at this level, so we need to see which way it wants to go. If we look at the dollar, so dollar today ended slightly lower. Now for the last couple of days, last few sessions, it has come up to the previous highs around 109. So it tagged that line today, but wasn't able to push through. It fell. So in the last few sessions, it has tested this level 109.30 and hasn't been able to get through. So we need to see whether or not weakness starts to creep in. If it closes below this candle, that would show that there is weakness. I can see that the RSI in this rebound hasn't kept up. It's kind of it's lower than where it was previously. So there is some weakness, but nothing significant yet. MACD is still moving higher, which shows that the momentum is still strong. But we need to see what the structure looks like here in coming days. We'll see whether or not it can break through this level or whether it falls below this level, which is around 108, and that would show some weakness. If we look at the 10-year note today, so although the 10-year note didn't go up that much on Friday following Fed Chairman Powell's comments, but it reacted today. It was up 7 ticks, and it's now coming up to this level right here, which is around 311. Momentum MACD is still going up, suggesting that there might be an additional move to the upside. RSI is also moving higher, although it is beginning to form a lower high. We'll see, but nothing significant yet. The pattern still looks like there may yet be more to the upside. I suspect Friday we might get a reaction. If the jobs report continued to show that the labor market is strong, then this could continue to move higher, and vice versa. Moving on to oil. So we've been discussing the fact that oil was threatening to move past this area of resistance, which is around 95. Today it had a big day, it was up over 4%. Again, there's some concerns that the OPEC members might cut production of oil, and that's why there was a bounce in crude oil price. You can see the MACD, it started to move higher and it's heading towards the zero line. If it crosses above the zero line, that would show that the momentum is still quite strong. RSI has been moving up. So overall, the momentum indicators are saying that, suggesting that there could yet be higher prices ahead. Resistance is around 104. Now, if I just bring in the moving averages quickly, you'll see that right now it closed just above the 200-day moving average, but right at the 50. So there is some resistance at this level. If it's able to get through the 50-day, which is around 97, then I think 104 definitely comes into play. So this is what we'll be watching to see whether or not it can push through the 50-day moving average. Looking at VIX right now, so VIX rose slightly. It rose 2.5%. It rose to as high as 27.5, which was the top of the range that I had. So this is an area I'm looking to see whether it can get through 27.50. Now, momentum indicators are positive. MACD is moving higher. It's now coming up to the zero line. RSI is also moving higher. Now, one thing I would say is that RSI, this line is 61.8, which is a fib level. You'll see that it doesn't stay too long above 61.8 here. So you see that it went above 61.8 level and then fell back fairly soon. Again, here we see that it had gone above there, but hasn't been able to stay there for a longer period of time. Again, here we see that it went above the 61.8 level, but then quickly fell back. And when it fell back, it went through a big correction. So here too, it fell back and then came back and tested the 61.8, and then it fell back quite a bit. You see the prices came down. Here too, when it failed to hold the 61.8, it went through a big correction. So this is an area I'm watching to see whether it can go above, and then if it goes above and falls back, that would be negative. So for the time being, 27.50 would be area that I'm watching. Above there would be around 30. So that's VIX. If we look at Bitcoin quickly, again, Bitcoin is being trading in this big range. So it's around, say, 19,000 at the bottom, 25,000 at the top. So it's kind of at the lower end of the range. So not much is happening, but RSI hasn't fallen as low as the previous low. So RSI is above, and then this is MACD. Beg your pardon. RSI hasn't fallen back to the previous low, so you could say that there is a bit of positive divergence. Stochastic is oversold, so we could see a bit of a bounce. Now this support area is very important because it tagged this level a number of times. So if this is breached, then we could see selling pickup. And obviously this would be an resistance level. You can see that there was a big candle right here. So if it's able to get through this level, then technical picture is going to improve immensely for Bitcoin. If we look at some of the sectors in the equity market, obviously with oil rising, XLE, the energy sector, did well. It was up 1.5%. Came under a bit of a pressure on Friday, but managed to recover. The momentum indicators are still positive, rising. RSI is coming up to an overbought area. You can see last time when RSI on XLE went above the red line and then pulled back, it had a big correction. Here too, when it went above and then pulled back, then there was a correction. So it is overbought here, but a lot of people are in this trade. This is getting a crowded trade again, but the fact that the oil is rising, that is supporting. Stochastic is an overbought area, so we need to keep an eye on this one. Other than that, all the other, on the downside, the growth sectors were weak. This is XLK, so it fell below this support area. The next support area is right here around 134. Momentum indicators are moving lower. XLF, the financials, they were also weak, fell below this support area on Friday. Next level is this one right here around 33. XLY also was weak. It broke below this trend line, but it managed to hold this level at least today. The momentum indicators are weak. So overall, the defensive sectors held up better, but the growth sector, this is to be expected, were weak. If we look at some of the individual stocks, look at Tesla. So here's Tesla. You can see that Tesla is trading in a range, 315 on the upside, 280 on the downside. So this is a range that it has currently defined, and whichever direction it breaks, we would expect stock to move in that direction. Now, if we look at in a smaller time frame, so this is a 30-minute chart of Tesla. So you can see how it's moving. Today it rallied a little bit in the morning, but found resistance at this level, which is around 287. The support is around 280 right here, which coincides with this level right here. So break of this level is going to be would not be positive. So this area is very important. The other thing that I wanted to show is I want to draw a quick fib on this decline from here to this decline. So you can see that Tesla fell. This is the first leg, then rallied, and then this is the second leg. So this rebound ended right at this 61.8 level. At the 50 retracement level. And then the second leg has begun. So second leg, right now it tagged the 0.236 extension. So if I make it a little bit bigger, you can see that. So this is the RSI 23.6% extension. So that it tagged this one. And then below there, if it breaks that 280, which is an important level, so this is where 236 extension is also sitting. The 38.2 extension is around 277. So you can see that the fib, it's following a fib. It pulled back and then it retraced to the 50 level, and then it pulled back to the 23.6 extension, 280, which is also at the same. So you can see that there are a number of support. You've got a fib here. You've got consolidation pattern here, which is also right at this level. So 280 is going to be an important zone. So we'll see whether or not it can hold this level. I mean, it could trade below this level on an intraday basis, but the important thing is whether or not it closes below. So that's the key level we'll be watching. If we look at Apple quickly, so Apple right now, so let's bring in the moving averages. You can see that Apple is right at the 200-day moving average, which is this black line right here, and you also have the 50-day moving average right here. So these would be two important levels. They're around 160, 161 level. And if I move this, you can see that there is also horizontal support right here. There's a gap. So this area is going to be important for Apple. So we need to see whether or not it goes below 155. If it breaks this level, there's a gap right here which can be filled. So the gap is so the bottom of the gap is around 157.50, and below that additional support is around 155.55. So that's Apple. Well, that's all for today. Thank you very much for watching the video.